The Ugly Girl. My name is Heather Stefano, and I'm 13 years old. I am the most popular girl in the whole school. I am also the most beautiful. As you can imagine, everyone is jealous of me. My dad is rich, and he buys me whatever I ask for. My parents are busy with their lives, and they pretty much let me do what I want. I forgot to mention, I have the most handsome Miss boyfriend ever. His name is Kenneth Osborne. He's 28 years old, and he's in a biker gang. And he told me he's going to marry me. Before you say anything, yes, it is legal. I live in New Hampshire. You can get married here when you're 13 if you want to. You just need the permission of your parents. I haven't told my parents about Kenneth yet. If they found out, they'd just be yapping on about me trying to break up with him. My parents are so lame. Whenever my boyfriend roars into the parking lot on his motorcycle to pick me up, everyone in school stares at me like I have two heads. They're so jealous. They just wish they could have a boyfriend as handsome and cool as Kenneth. Well, if I'm the most beautiful girl in school, you're probably wondering who the ugliest is. That would be Janine Miller. She sits next to me in class. Janine is the kind of girl you can't resist slapping. She's just way too ugly. Circus ugly is what I call it. She fell out of the ugly tree, and her face hit every branch on the way down. From the moment she first came to my school, she started hanging around me like a lost puppy. It was pathetic. I guess because we sat next to each other, she thought we could be friends. She kept asking if she could be friends with me, no matter how much she begged and pleaded. I always told her no. One day, I cornered her in the corridor after class and grabbed her by the scruff of the neck. "Why are you always following me around?" I yelled. "What do you want from me?" "I just want to be your friend," replied Janine. "Look, get this through your thick skull once and for all, ugly," I shouted. "I don't want to hang out with you. I will never want to hang out with you. I wouldn't even be seen dead with you. Don't you understand? You and me, we're not even from the same universe. I'm beautiful and you're ugly." At that, Janine burst into tears and ran off. I was glad she finally got the message. On the last day of school, before the summer holidays, Janine updated her Facebook status. "OMG, I'm finally gonna have my plastic surgery. My parents agreed to pay for it. OMG, wish me luck, guys." Everybody was leaving her comments like, "Good for you, Janine, and wish you luck." It was sickening. I left her a comment saying, "Don't worry, Janine. Whatever they do to your face, you'll always be ugly to me." That got a lot of laughs. Summer turned out to be a disaster. My boyfriend Kenneth got arrested by the police. They said he was a drug dealer and charged him with possession and intent to distribute, whatever that means. I only found out about it because I read it in the newspaper. The article also said he was 30 years old and his wife was arrested as well. I was so stunned. I didn't know what to believe. He was older than he said he was? He had a wife? Was he cheating on me? I had to see him and find out for myself. When I went to visit him in prison, I was in tears. The orange jumpsuit he was wearing was so unfashionable. He told me he was totally innocent. The police had framed him. I listened as he told me how two cops had planted the drugs on him because they were so jealous of how cool he was. They also made up a story for the newspaper about how he was 30 and he had a wife because they were trying to destroy his love life. Kenneth said the police were so corrupt that most of the people in prison were actually innocent and the really guilty ones were still roaming out in the streets. For the rest of the summer, I visited him every day. I spent so much time behind those prison walls. I was beginning to feel like I lived there. I lost touch with all my friends from school, but I didn't care. I had Kenneth. That was all I wanted. In the visiting room, he would hold my hand and tell me how much he loved me. He promised he wouldn't cheat on me while he was in prison. To prove it, he even gave me an engagement ring. I asked him where he got it, but he just said, "Shh. The cops might be listening." When the summer ended, I had to go back to school again. and I couldn't visit Kenneth anymore. I was devastated. He said he was getting out of prison in a few months, and then we would be together. Nobody would ever be able to separate us again. On the first day of school, when I showed up for class, everyone was stunned and confused. "What's going on, guys?" I asked. "Did something change?" "What?" My best friend Tiffany stared at me. "Who are you?" she asked. "Duh, I'm Heather," I cried. "Heather Stefano. What's gotten into you, Tiffany?" But what? Then who is that girl over there?" Tiffany led me over to the girl she had been pointing at. I took one look at her and gasped in surprise. The girl looked exactly like me. She could have been my twin sister. The resemblance was uncanny. No wonder all my friends were so confused. "What the hell is going on?" I shouted. "Who are you?" The girl mumbled. She was trying to avoid the question. I grabbed her by the hair and dragged her out into the corridor. "You better start talking, or I'll punch your lights out," I yelled. Okay, I'll tell you," said the girl, "but let's talk in the bathroom." I stormed into the girls' toilet and she followed me. "So?" I demanded. She hung her head and stared at the ground. Finally, she mumbled, "I'm Janine." "Janine? Did you copy my face?" "OMG, Heather, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." I shoved her up against the wall. "Why did you steal my face?" I screamed. She didn't answer. Instead, she took out a knife and stabbed me in the stomach. At first, I was shocked that I didn't feel anything. I looked down in disbelief and watched as blood began pouring out and splattering all over the floor. Clutching my belly, I collapsed on the ground and started writhing in agony. "Because I want to be you," said Janine. "I'm obsessed with your looks. I'm so jealous of you and Ken. I wish I was you. I wish I was popular and beautiful and had so many friends I could treat everyone like dirt." I could barely talk. I was in such horrible pain that all I could manage was a gurgle. "Do you feel the pain now?" she asked. "Do you feel it? That's the pain I've been feeling all my life. I may have been ugly on the outside, but that's nothing compared to how ugly you were on the inside." The life was slowly ebbing from my veins, and I begged Janine to call an ambulance. She ignored me and instead began removing my clothes. She washed the blood off her knife and put it back into her pocket. She dressed herself in my clothes and made sure there were no bloodstains on them. Then, as I lost consciousness, she dragged me into one of the stalls and left me there bleeding to death. She locked the door from the outside so nobody would find me for a while. After that, she returned to class like nothing had happened. "Hi, girls," said Janine breezily as she walked into the classroom. "Are you Heather?" asked my friends. "Of course I'm Heather, you silly girls." Tiffany smiled. "That's Heather all right," she said. "Nobody else has a foul mouth like that."